Hey everybody, what is up? Just over here on Emerald Coast. I'm actually just doing a little testing here of the new script. I'm just seeing how she works and everything. See if some of the quirks were worked out of it based on how it was acting earlier. Some earlier streams. Things are very, very close to basically being ready to upload. I was trying to figure out what to say there. Things look like the map is very, very close to being ready to upload to FSUK. So go and that and check troughs. Got 80% there. We don't have it in there yet. Just bottom though. Let's go see how the grass is doing in the sheep pasture. Okay, 17,000. Need to get these guys some water. Die off on us. Alright. Interesting enough, the grass is not populating in the cows area. Also not been used. Okay. Oh, they're dropped. Just took a while to populate in there. Now we have 6,300 and 1,040. Remember, based on... I gotta go get some hay bales because I want to test some stuff there with hay bales. Well, I could just buy some hay. Buy up some forage. Buy up some hay. Stay at. Soybean. Alright, I guess I can't buy hay, so I'll have to buy it in bale form. No big deal. Straw credit. Let's get a trailer. This. Let's get a truck. Oh, let's get this one. It's matching black. Let's see here. So need that. Let's get this. Not. All right. We're going to test a little bit of the script, and then we're going to go and some other things. I just got this updated script just a little bit ago, so I haven't had a chance to get in and try it out. Gonna do our best to try it out. The quantities of the grass in the pastures have also changed to what should be what Will said is more realistic numbers. Let's unload that over here and fill this up with power food. We can put that in there. Gotta love these viable silos. Very convenient for testing and initial map setup. And at 20,000 liters, they just disappear. How many? I don't know how much silage they're going to take. All right. Let's get going. So guys, what are y'all doing tonight? Got a quiet crowd here, it looks like. I'll tell you what the plan is for the night. So after we do some grazing mod testing here, we're going to reset the map and start her back up. Oh, of course you're going to run into me. And then we're going to run over and just kind of get started on a setup for what will eventually be a series on Emerald Coast. We're going to do a we're going to whip out the Modern Classics DLC that just came out today. I have not even had a chance to look at any of the stuff other than looking at other folks' videos. So we're going to pull some of that stuff out. And we're going to basically do some streaming setup of a series that we're going to start here at some point. Now, I seem to do best when I only have one current series running. And I don't really want to finish Wrathland anytime soon. I want to play that one out for at least another full game year and see how things work there. But I also don't want to wait until like June or July to start this, because quite frankly, there's probably going to be other stuff that comes along that I'm going to want to play. So overall, we may do some concurrent series here, or current series running. Let's not cut through there. Got a pretty cool, pretty interesting storyline idea for this series. I don't want to give that away. I want to see how long it takes for somebody to pick up on what I'm doing. Like for example, on my Serenity Valley series, I decided early on that I was going to name all of my hired helpers after characters from The Walking Dead. And it took, I don't know how many episodes for somebody caught on. And quite honestly, toward the toward the end of, not the end, but by the time people caught on to that, I was being a little obvious with my name selection that kind of probably gave it away. I am a little curious to see how long it takes before you guys pick up on what I'm doing. That's going to be for another day. The first thing that we want to test here is that we were seeing some interesting behavior with respect to the grazing mod when hay was put in the trough. Let's drop. Let's get a couple bales. So, all right, fine. We'll just get a couple hay bales here and test that out. Before we do that, let's go ahead and put some silage over here for our cows. Now, the one thing that we want to look here is that looks a lot better. So last time we saw this with seasons, there was a diagonal line that went across the map, or not the map, but this pasture area, and it wasn't the whole area here wasn't being consumed by the animals, and that's why it's kind of mowed down here. It's at a second growth state. It's simulating the cows and the sheep eating it down. But now with this iteration of the script, we see that it's more evenly fed, which is good. There was a question last stream as to where the wool pallets spawned. They spawn over here. It's not been fixed on my version of the map, but the version of the map that will be uploaded, pallets are rotated 180 degrees, and this may be also rotated around, or this may be swapped out for something else, because we're seeing pallets spawn over here kind of in the way of these support poles. Hey Anders, what's up? No problem. I thought that that Toyota was pretty cool. I don't have near the understanding of more realistic to even attempt to convert it to MR. Wouldn't mind if it was converted, but I definitely don't have the knowledge or the skills to do that. Let's see this populate up. Oh, that is interesting. So we've got the hay for grass mod in because we wanted to test some things. And that's very interesting that silage goes up a lot slower than a power food when the hay is grass mod is in place. Really don't like the hay is grass mod, but we've got it in just for testing because we want to see if the grazing mod reacts different if we have this mod in. What we want to do. All right, so that's good enough. Come back here to our truck. If I don't know if you've tried it yet, but the Land Cruiser has two options. One that has a roof and one that's kind of an open cab. So before we do anything, let's kick our time into high gear, and we'll see. Oh. I'm gonna go to 1,000 speed. That in a little bit. Pull up our F1 menu. Come over here to where we can see both. Somewhere in this general area. There we are. So you see in the F1 menu, we've got the grass in cow pasture and the grass in sheep pasture. Pump that up. We'll see that those numbers are dropping. Okay, that's as the cows and sheep are consuming grass here. And if we go in here to the escape menu, you'll see that this is still 2040 and 6300, while these other values are dropping. Let me bump it up to 1000 again so it's a little more exaggerated. See, these values are dropping, and this value is remaining the same. Same over here. This value is dropping for water. This value is staying the same. And that is because the grazing mod is simulating the animals eating out of the actual pasture area. And that's why the grass in the sheep and cow pasture drops down. What we want to check is what we found is if we put straw, or if we overfilled the grass trough with grass, then the grass in the pasture would not be consumed until the trough was at 67% with seasons or 80% with out seasons. But if we put hay in here, then the pasture would be grass would be consumed at the same time the trough was consumed, which wasn't necessarily fair. It felt like it was kind of a penalty. Like, fed hay, but the grass was still being eaten in the pasture. We now look. Oh. I'm an idiot. This every time. This is the whole reason. That's right. I am the reason these signs are on the buildings. That is the cow grass trough, not the sheep grass trough. That's okay, we can test both. Sheep grass trough is over here. Maybe it's just me, but logic would dictate that the grass trough closest to the sheep buy point would be for sheep. That's how I'm thinking about it. And the grass trough closest to the cow buy point would be for cows. But that is the opposite. Think for me, there are now signs here, but I am so stupid, I don't even remember the signs are there. Any rate, just do a couple sheep hops. So now we have overfilled the trough, meaning that the trough is above 67%. It's 2040 and 10,278. And what we want to test is we want to bump this to 1000 again. And we want to see these values are dropping. They're indeed dropping. Now, are these values dropping? They are. So it still is not quite working the way maybe I'm thinking it should work. Let's go on. Hey, Talgar. Hey, Raznik. What's up? All right. So, let's bump it up again. So our grass and sheep pastures, or cows and sheep pastures, are definitely dropping. And these levels are definitely dropping. So, that is not quite the way I think it should be. So, what we, again, to summarize, once again, the grazing mod will fill automatically. Let's turn this off. Grazing mod will fill the grass trough for the sheep and cows automatically to a level of 80% if you're playing without seasons, or 67% if you're playing with seasons. As long as there is grass in the pasture, meaning that the grass in cow pasture isn't 0, the grass in sheep pasture isn't 0, the script will basically reduce, It will cause the animals to eat out of the pasture, and the level in the trough will remain the same. If you put grass in the trough will fill, and as long as the trough is above 80% without seasons or 67% with seasons, then the grass in the pasture will not be consumed because the animals are eating the grass out of the trough. Once the levels reach below 80 or 67% respectively, then the grass in the pasture will get consumed, and the levels in the troughs remain the same. We're not seeing that behavior if we add hay. We put hay in the trough, it will fill above 80 or 67%, and the levels in the trough will be consumed down to either 80 or 67%, but at the same time, the cow and sheep pastures are also being reduced. So I think that is maybe the last little issue that needs to be figured out before this grazing thing is 100%. Now, the only time that would really come into play is during spring and early summer, when maybe you have residual hay in the sheep trough or in the cow trough. Well, you wouldn't have hay in the cow trough because typically cows only take grass, and then they take hay for a different bar. So also what you have then is, we'll just stand on you, let's see, is you have some semi-realistic animal limits. So I don't know what the limit is here with this size of pasture. Let's take off and fly a little bit. So this size pasture, what's fenced in here, is configured to support cows and sheep. This map. Of course, if you had a map that had this mod and it had sheep and cows in different areas, then obviously those levels would be different. But this area has been measured by a mask, and the mask you can see here in the area that's being eaten. And the square area of this mask is being used to calculate out these cow and sheep pasture levels. So in theory, this mod, if you had the right number of cows and sheep, you would never have to feed them grass except for winter and early spring, because the mod would keep the grass troughs at 80 or 67% without seasons or with seasons. Now, if you went with too many animals, then this pasture area would run out of grass at some point during the year, and you would have to supplement the grass trough with grass that you mowed. So it kind of encourages some more realistic animal numbers. So like, for example, on Rathlin, where I've got over 700 sheep, there's no way I would support 700 sheep realistically in the pasture area that is pre-built into the map. I would probably, I don't know, who knows how much sheep I could really realistically support. Probably wouldn't even be 100 sheep. So I would get a little bonus out of the grazing mod on Rathlin, but I would still have to be supplementing their feeding throughout the entire year. So that kind of concludes the testing that we're going to do with the grazing mod. I'm going to blank the screen out. We're going to shut this down, bring her back up, and then we're going to start playing with some of the modern classics DLC stuff. Right back with you.
So, Pharma-Klein, sorry to bother you while you're streaming, but this is the question I've got. I'm guessing it'll be trial and error when it comes to how many, to find out how many sheep and cows we could have.
Probably.
Okay.
Because, I mean, unless you maybe opened it up in the editor and you could figure out the square area of the mask somehow, and then you figured out, then you knew what the formula was based on the consumption levels and the amount of grass that that square area could provide,
Yeah.
then it's going to be kind of just trial and error. And what I was doing when I was playing this was I tried like 50 cows, and I flew through 3-day seasons for an entire year real fast, and I looked to see when did I run out of grass in the pasture.
Yeah.
Did I run out of grass in the middle of summer? Did I run out of grass in the late autumn? Or did I basically run it all the way into the last day of late autumn and then I ran out? And if I ran out early with 50, then I'd roll it back to 30 and see where I was. If I didn't run out with 50, I would bump it up to 60 or so. So yeah, it's just some trial and error.
Yeah.
I'm looking to get rid of that. What's this one? Trying to get rid of that haze grass mod. I really don't like it. Just had it in here for testing. I'll be right back once I can find it. Because just like anything else, when you're trying to find something, you can never find it. There it is. Okay. Alright, I know I've been kind of avoiding chat. Let me get this map booting up, and then I'll see if I can't check up with your messages. Alright, let's start that. Bring it back. Alright, let's check chat messages. It would be Darren will be switching the troughs around first thing. I know it's going to take me a while. I'm going to keep forgetting. AQE, looks like an update for your chart will be needed. I don't know. I don't know how I'll calculate out how much, what the square area of all that is. What did the Grizzly mod author say about it? I haven't talked to him specifically. He is in Germany, and but CCS 101 is communicating back and forth with him.
Redoing your template because.
Do you mind if we borrow your script for private maps? Oh wait, that's
script. I don't think there's much point updating your worksheet, is there?
And seasons, it's very hard to feed grass. Yeah, you can't feed grass. I wasn't listening up. With seasons, you can't feed grass in the winter. You got to feed hay, but it's not that big of a deal. Oh shoot. On. I did not want seasons. Back. This first little bit, I don't want to use seasons. So the way the seasons folks have worked it, sure, cows produce less. They have less productivity over winter, but they also, their milk production has been jacked way up. So even though their productivity is down, they are still pumping out a ton of milk. So you're not really losing out on their productivity compared to autumn. Yes, yes. All right. Let's see what else we got here. We're talking about the grazing mod. I have absolutely no idea, Anders, on adding it. I read the directions, and the directions seemed pretty hard to me, but that's because I'm not a map author. Basically, you have to paint the area with a mask, similar to, I guess, making the snow mask. To add some scripts to the folders, you have to add some other things. I'm sure if the directions were well enough written, it could probably be managed. And heck, who knows? Once the mod is released, I might be able to fumble through it and do a video on it. It's hard to say. Hey Dakota. Hey Smoke. And alright, what was your question?
I was just wondering whether there'd be much point redoing your spreadsheet, because because at the present time that script will be only for this map until people figure out how it all works. So is there much point redoing your spreadsheet until that such a time as that happens, if at all it happens?
I don't think the spreadsheet will need to be updated, because it doesn't change how much the animals consume.
Yeah.
It simply changes how much you would need to produce. But to do that, you would have to know the square area of the mask and somehow factor that in. That would be different for every single map, because every single map's going to have a different size pasture for each of the animals. So if you just ignore grazing mods, they're still going to need some amount of food. Just might not need that much hay. Because lots of times I just make hay for my sheep. I don't feed sheep grass. I just feed them hay year round. And I feed cows grass, basically because they need grass as their own independent food source for spring, summer, and autumn. But I don't worry about the fact that they run out of grass in winter and early spring. I don't really care, because the way Seasons has done it, cows jack up their milk production during winter significantly, where you're still, even with their productivity down, you're still pumping out more milk per cow during winter than you are during spring, summer, or autumn. But give me a minute. I'm going to pull up the Seasons mod, and I'm going to actually give you the values that the cows pump out comparative. All right, so cows produce, this is one cow should produce approximately 643 liters of milk per day in spring. They should produce 343 liters of milk per day in summer. Theory is that they are they're nursing their calves. They have less milk for you.
Yeah.
In autumn, they produce even less, 171 liters per cow per day. But in winter, they produce 557 liters of milk per cow per day. So it is a pretty big, I mean, the only difference is spring is more. During spring and summer, when spring and winter, their production is so much jacked compared to summer and autumn, when you do have the ability to actually give them milk or grass. All right, let's look at, so here we are. This is brand new start game, everything. I think the starting fields are a little different than they were the first time I did a video, so we're going to look at that. I always take plowing off because it makes it easier for me to see. So we start with fields 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. These are our starting fields. Then we've got all of these wonderful fields here. Field 23 is ginormous. 23 is 29.9 hectares, basically 30 hectares, $0.4 million. Buy that field there. Now, let's go back here and take a look at our starting equipment. We're not going to do a map video, but I'm going to sell off most of this stuff to start stacking the map, to use a DoughBoy term. And we're going to do that this stream. We're also going to play with some of the Maxis Modern Classics DLC stuff. So I haven't played with any of that yet. So you do get one DLC item per DLC, minus the Classics pack that just came out today, so that's obviously not in. You get the nice convertible from the Platinum Edition. Saw the Big Bud. here in this building. So you get the Big Bud with the map if you have the Big Bud pack. You don't have to have all of the DLCs. If you don't have a DLC, you just won't get a piece of equipment for free. It's not that big of a deal. It's just a little bonus for people that have purchased those. Let's see here, we've got, what other DLC? We've got the Coon. Coon, you get the bale wrapper. Get the square bale wrapper with the Coon. That's right there. So we got the Coon pack, we got the Big Bud pack, we got the Platinum pack. I guess the next one is the Ropa pack. So you get the potato harvester, the Ropa pack. And is that it? Let me check. That's it as far as DLC stuff. The Coon, the Platinum, the Ropa. Yep, that's it. Okay. What else is here in chat? Nothing. Hey, Crazy Austin. Hey, Cameron. All right. So what we're going to do is we're going to sell everything. Just for funsies. So before we do that, let's jump in this Steyr and I'll show you what's up there. The PDA's changed a little bit. I like this PDA a lot better than the other one. It's dots. So I like the water, I like how the streets are laid out better. The big forest is now brown as opposed to being green, and boy, this thing is huge. If you haven't seen the forest, it's just worth walking through. So here we've got our forestry stuff up here. Never seen this thing being actually given to people. Got it here. All of these diesel tanks are fillable. You have to fill them. They don't come with diesel fuel from the start. What's cool with this area is at night this diesel generator runs to power the light. So that's the forest. So what we're going to do is we're going to sell everything. Then we're going to buy some of the DLC stuff. We're going to buy some other stuff. And we're going to set this map up to kind of be some older style equipment. Not ancient stuff, but not brand new stuff either. So we're basically going to use all of this stuff as money to buy our own junk. And when we do play the seasons, no, you do not need the universal process. No, you don't need that. In fact, I probably just sold the fuel trailer that is full of fuel. Oh, I shouldn't have done that. Oh, there it is. Not selling that. All right. First thing we're going to do is we're going to buy ourselves a pickup truck. Oh. The wheel loader is owned by the compost factory, the compost folks. So you saw I couldn't sell that. That is owned but usable by you, by the compost factory folks. There you go. All right, let's get in our truck. Oh, I love this thing. I haven't had a chance to use it yet. Anders, this is very close to being released. In fact, if timing had worked out better, I would probably be showing you the, well, in computer terms, we use release candidate. Basically, I'd be showing you the version of the map that is very likely the version that would be uploaded to FSUK. But timing did not work in our favor for that tonight, because CCS 101 was still making some final tweaks on it and then needed to upload it. to his Google or Cloud Drive or whatever, and then give me the link to download it. And he hadn't gotten that out to me yet. But if unless Real Logger wants to make some changes to the script based on what I've demonstrated the behavior is with hay in those troughs, then I would say it's probably within a week of being released, assuming the testers at FSUK work through it fairly quickly. If Real Logger wants to make some changes, then I would say, you know, it could be a little longer than that. But, you know, I don't like showing stuff off for a long time before it gets released, so I'm really hoping it does come out for you guys. So something to note is this thing starts full of fuel. Okay? I didn't show you, but the seeders start full of seed. The fertilizer sprayer starts full of fertilizer. So that's pretty unique to this map. Lots of times you get, well, pretty much all the time you get seeders, but they start empty. You might get this thing, but it starts empty. There we go. Look, we're dumping it in here. Look over here. See the fuel levels are going up on that. Stop that. We're going to go fill up some more just to show you how it works. Hey there, Joe. What's up? Yeah, you'll want a big bud on that big 30-acre field if you go and buy that. That's for sure. Traffic's been tamed down a little bit. Get out here. These gates up. Yeah. If you want to join my Discord, the link's in the description. That way I have a way of contacting you. Now, I haven't looked at the update. I know I liked Herminek, the first version. Check out this forest. It's so big, it's got so much depth to it. You know, there's a building we can see off in the distance through the trees. As we get closer, we see more stuff. We have mud on the map, but we have what's called dynamic mud now. Dynamic mud means that it's a little muddy, or if it's a little muddy when the ground is dry, but when it rains, it's really muddy. If you play without seasons, it means that there's no mud unless you have rain. Then there's lots of mud. Right. Now this one won't show you the amount of fuel in here. There's no gauge on it. You do see it's taking fuel. All right. So this road is got mud spots in it. If it was rainy, you would see it. We had seasons in, depending on the moisture levels of the ground. It would be just a little bit of mud to some pretty major mud, which is nice because lots of folks have said, you know, mud on a map is cool, but when it's forever mud, it's a little weird. Playing seasons and you have 7 days of no rain, and on the 7th day of no rain you still have just as much mud as you had on the immediately following rain. So that building there to our right is a wood chip storage building. But with this, the longer you go without rain, the less mud you have. Then if you have a lot of rain, well then you got a lot of mud to deal with. Alright, we're just gonna pull out. Oh, we didn't pull out into. So the area there on our right, they provide you, well, in theory, they're set up to provide you the ammonia, but it's a liquid fertilizer trigger. I don't know, Anders, if this mud works with MR or how MR acts with this mud. I'm assuming MR means, I'm assuming with MR it doesn't work well because of the traction loss, is what I'm guessing. I was going to do MR on this series, but then I just at the last minute decided not to because I don't think a lot of the things that I want to use it for, I want to use on the map, would work with MR. Right. So this one, let's see here. Stop moving. Jump on this. There's a gauge there, it says 625. So this particular tank does have a gauge on it to show you the levels. There's a couple more fuel tanks.
Hello.
Hello.
How are you doing?
Okay. Hey Milo, what's up?
Playing FS17 right now. So.
Okay.
Driving a Ford F-150. It's the Raptor. New one. It's 2017. So I love it. Very nice. Can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay, good. Are you doing a multiplayer server right now?
No, this is single. This is
Right now?
yeah, a single unreleased map, so not multi.
What's the name of the map?
Emerald Coast.
Emerald Coast?
Yep.
Huh. Is it on a local? Is it on a website somewhere?
No, it's not released yet.
Okay. It will be released when? When will it be released?
Hopefully within a week or so.
Within a week or two.
Yep. I'm not the author, so I can't really give you any definitive information. I just know it's real close.
That's okay. Don't worry about it.
All right. So then this one,
Thank you.
let's see if we can fill that one.
Good day.
So that works. And you may notice that when we start filling,
Did you hear me?
the fuel, the engine turns off. Yeah, I just use push to talk. So what? Usually, if I'm talking in the stream, Discord's not hearing me.
Okay. Have a nice day.
All right, you
Here
too.
now. Thank you.
Then we got another fuel tank over here, and that's probably about it. And this one I think also has the digital readout. Now you see you hear the engine? So the truck just cut off as I am technically refilling. And then when it's done refilling, it turns back on. Cool. So we're gonna get rid of this now. See if we can see this. Gauge.
Fire marshal will like that.
Can't. There we go. There we can see it. Depending on the angle, we can't see it very well. Hey, Spectre, what's up? Florida plates. Alright. We're gonna leave this over here
Life is good, you.
for now. Oh, I'm doing pretty good. Now, where is it? We've got to have our joyride car. This is what the farmer uses to tool around town when he's not farming. When he's looking for the ladies. Let's see what we can get this one up to. 93, not too bad. We're gonna park this in here. We do have nuggets. Those that want to do nugget hunts. So, alright, let's get down to some fun business here. What do we have that needs to be harvested? Because I want to play with this new harvester. Alright, field 2 is ready to harvest. And field 2 is what? Should have checked that. Field 2 is wheat. Alright, let's get this. Where is this at? Let's harvest. We're going to get out. Here we are. Buy that. And we're going to buy the header. And I guess we should buy the header trailer. Right. Right. Now we're going to need a tractor to cart the grain. I'm going to let you all pick. Should we go with... It's probably too small horsepower. Should we go with the Maxim 5150 or the JCB Fast Track 150? We're going to play with those later. I'm going to use one of these two. Tell me in chat which ones you think we should have. Whoopsie. Let's go out of it. I would prefer this one itself. I don't know what the difference between this one is and this one. In fact, I haven't messed with this pack much either. Let's see what the horsepower on this one. 65 to 104. This one is just 95. Alright. Alright, we got 2 votes for the case, so we're going to go with that. We want weights, front hydraulic. Let's go with weight. Yes. Gotta go with the big one. Pro blah. Pro var. Pro black. Pro. You know what? Oh, 50,000 edition red. What the heck? Let's go with that one. Twin wheels, rear twins, narrow tires, wide tires. Go with rear twins and that. Okay. trailer. Might as well whip out. I really don't like dollies. We're only going to use this until we basically done showing off that. Black. Colored red. Right. There's the new harvester. Little header, the header trailer. Ooh, look at that fancy tractor. Is there any... Let me pause here. I'm going to put on the head tracker. I'll be right back. Alrighty. Now we can look around here. See, we got light up. Alright, the dash doesn't light up. It's cool though. Let's see, this is a little... There we go, I like that better. Up a little bit. There we go. Alright. Let's go ahead and take this on up to the field. Do our cover so we can see that. I don't know about nowadays, but I never saw a JCB tractor when I was growing up. Maybe it's just the area that I was in. Or maybe they're just not that prevalent in the U.S. So what we're going to do, the way we're going to set this up for our
Their tractors aren't
series,
necessarily, but boy, they sure have a lot of front loaders and skid steers and that kind of stuff.
yeah, we're going to use the we're going to get the JCB telehandler that's in the pack here in a little bit. Have you seen any of that stuff? There's no beacon on that trailer there.
That's probably the most common brand I see in telehandlers and skid steers, front end loaders and that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I think we see them more in the way of commercial vehicles or commercial equipment than farm equipment. Alright, we're going to pull this on in here. I'm going to leave this here.
Yeah, I see a lot of them on construction sites, not necessarily farms, but...
Get it there. I know, I will, Kurt. Part of the reason for the stream is to also play with this DLC stuff. So that's part of the reason I picked that trailer. But the gravity wagons are in there for a reason, because I plan on actually using them more when we're actually doing the real series. Whoa. So that was... kind of saw how the header popped off there. So I think this trailer has must have a some type of a good locking script on it. Hopefully it releases well. Turn here. Uh-oh. All right, let's go out this way. this way. So you can see the bollards there. These sell points don't open up until a certain time of the day. There we are. Like I said, we're going to get the JCB telehandler real soon. I like that telehandler because it doesn't articulate. I think the JCB in game has an articulating one now. Alright, we'll talk to you later, Anders. Big old swing. Oh! So the way I'm thinking about setting this up for the series is, and you believe it or not, I have never even thought about doing it this way until I saw a CLEP video where he started Sussex. And that is, what I'm going to do is we're going to farm this map with the starting fields. I'll probably buy a couple fields and basically harvest those, and that's going to go into our silo. The bales are going to go into storage. We're going to collect it for silage. We're going to put it in the silage fermenting silos, and then we're going to turn seasons on. So what we're going to have when we start with seasons is we're going to have some crop in the silo from the previous year's harvest, which was really what we harvested, part of the starting crops in the fields that we own. So we're kind of making use of what we get when you first start the map without seasons to populate up the map after seasons has been turned on. And it would be awesome to say that I had that idea, but I didn't have that idea on my own. I think that's what Mr. CLEP did, and I thought, hey, that's pretty cool. Because initially I thought that he had let's hung up on that. Initially I thought he had played like an entire year of seasons in order to get to the point where he was when he started his latest series. But someone pointed out that he probably just played the map without seasons for a bit, got the stuff accumulated, and then turned seasons on. It's like, oh, that makes sense. So let's unfold this. Pull the top opens just a little bit. Hey John, what's up? Let's close that gate up. You know what? We're gonna need a baling tractor. So standard wide tires, rear twins, twin wheels, narrow tires. Let's just go with standard. And we're gonna need a baler. There it is. We're gonna go with, these are cool, but they're too modern. All of these are too modern for what I want. I'm gonna go with this. Might look weird, but hey, it's cheap. Nice. A telehandler. We're gonna pick up that one. And we're gonna pick up I guess that one isn't. It is. One of these is articulated. It's messed up. Oh, this we'll use. Alright, let's turn this thing on. And it's good to go. Raise that up and down. We can move it in and out. Cool. Nice work lights on the down angle. Pretty cool. So, what I'm going to do is we're going to cut a couple headlands in on both sides, and then we're going to hire this guy off. Take a look in here. Again, I want to be looking straight up. I guess those are a couple cup holders. I don't know. Very good visibility in here. Very easy to harvest here. Let's do a little wheel driving. So it's very easy. You could, with this size header, you could easily drive this in cab and be able to see where your crop was. Not miss too much. So who all watching has picked this up? Oh, I guess we're gonna need to move that header trailer out of the way. Let's just have a rear hitch. Alright, we'll use this to move the trailer out of the way. Oh, except it's dolly. We're not backing that up. Here. Oh, what's the horn sound like? Oh, are you kidding me? Hey, Darren. Oh, yeah, Darren's got it. So, let me check something else out. Okay. I had thought, so I watched Simulation for the Nations video, and I thought he had, I thought they were rotating PTO shafts, but not rotating here, so maybe I was just mistaken. Nice dirt levels on the tires there. I like how the rear, very active rear end there. Gonna go up on the other end, make a couple passes. So if you haven't seen this map before, over there to the left is the animal buy point, and directly to the right of that are two of the GTX bale storage buildings that hold round hay bales or square hay bales. They do not hold straw bales. They do not hold silage bales. Just round or square hay bales. This map is intended to emulate the Florida Panhandle, which I think, if I'm correct, has been referred to as the Emerald Coast. If you play with seasons, the map does have a custom seasons geo to emulate the Florida weather. And in fact, you can do sugarcane on the map. The sugarcane growth rate with the geo is basically 1.5 years. So sugarcane as a crop is a long-term crop. If you plant it at the appropriate time, 1.5 years from now, or from then, you'll actually be able to harvest it. And of course, you can harvest sugarcane 3 times before you have to replant. So that would be 4.5 years of sugarcane production. Only 3 harvests, but you'd have to go through 4.5 game years. So what CCS 101 has suggested I do, because he is a crazy, crazy guy. He suggested that I play another long seasons gameplay on this map and play for 5 years. I told him that he is crazy. But at the same time, I am interested in the challenge. So I think I just might do it. I'm just trying to decide on the season's length at this point. So we've done 24 days. Not hard, just time consuming. We've done 15 days. A little more hectic. Still time consuming. We're doing 9 days on Rathlin. Yeah, that's not so time consuming. Not so hectic, but we're only doing sheep. Or we're doing a heck of a lot of sheep. Done 12-day seasons off camera. Kind of doing a homesteading thing at 12 days. We're on 21 days in a multiplayer, so we're doing 18 days in a multiplayer. So what kind of suggestions do y'all have? What kind of length do you think I should do if we try to play this map for 5 crazy years? The yield on this is horrible. It's not been fertilized, it's not been plowed. But no suggestions on what people think I should do for 5-year gameplay. We're definitely not doing 3-day seasons. No way. Definitely not doing 6. It's too short. gonna head over to the other side, and then we're gonna hire a worker out. $12 days? Alright, we can do 12 days. Any other suggestions? Probably do 12 days at 10x speed. That sounds fine. That should be just fast enough that it's kind of still pressed to get things done. The map does have multi-terrain angles, so you kind of got to be real careful when you hire out your helper, that you're kind of straight. Otherwise, they'll just go off at a little bit of a skew. Let's run over here. Run back to the shop and get our baler. For those that are not yet, this is a bulk seed and fertilizer area. It's a little tricky. You can't see it. You gotta go down this kind of hidden overgrowth. But back here, if you haven't seen this before, this is bulk fuel. You can buy fuel for a very low rate of $1.22 per liter. You buy it at the Shell station down the street, it's like $3 a liter. Best to buy it here at the wholesale place. So little annoyed I don't have the bale grabs that I was wanting to get. I guess we'll just get baling. Guess we could get that one. Are any of these colors that? Kind of an orangish yellow. That too orange? Probably. Work. It's probably too orange. We're gonna do it anyway. We don't care. We don't care. Oh, that is awful looking. Oh, that's ugly. Alright, so here's our telehandler. This is really nice. Nice visibility all around. Then we can, of course, lower, belt up and down, extend, out, and we can go to just front wheel steering. Yeah, we're gonna move it back to black when we're done. Oh, we need to go empty our grain. This is kind of like the old the Merlot. I'm not able to hook up to that. I picked the wrong one. I did. Alright, well, we'll have to sell that one later. There we go. That there. Here we are, the old school JCB. 3-point and a PTO on the front. It's nice. Similar interior to the other JCB. We got a nice analog clock. School temperature knobs, very cool. Alright, we got the fast transmission in here. Let's see what we can get this thing up to. So if you get fuel here at the Shell, it's gonna put you in the poorhouse. $37. Hey, Raznik. Yeah, I know you love the old stuff. Although you might be careful about putting this on your Sussex farm server. 48 miles. Holy cow! 48 miles an hour for a tractor. That is insane. That might be faster than the pickup truck I got. No, I think the pickup was doing 50 something. So you might want to think twice about putting it on the server, just because you know, it might limit the number of folks that are going to be able to get on. It's only $5.99, but still, or $4.99 I think, US. But it's still something that you know, people would have to have. Listen here. Our harvester. Nice and clear numbers on the dash there. Holy cow, we even have a cigarette lighter. Look at that. Alright. Gonna need a truck to haul our bales. Need a trailer. Been with the overall idea. Black, we're gonna black. These are, we'll just pick those for fun. Funsies. Auto load because I'm lazy sometimes. No. Sure, and we'll do wood. Skipped a little bit. Gizmo says telehandler would be very common on farms. Probably, except like I was like Spectre and I were saying earlier. In the U.S., we don't really see too many JCBs, at least in our area on the East Coast. In farming, we see lots of JCBs in commercial construction or commercial industry type usage. So even, you know, be more apt to see this at a construction site than other than the fact it says farm special. You'd see a JCB at a construction site here in the U.S. far more frequently than you would at a farm. Pick up at. There it is. Nothing bad on it. We're still going to use it. It's just why I think probably why some US-based players are less prone to pick and use a JCB tractor than some of the other brands, simply because we're not overly exposed to them all the time. Here. Oh, we need a seeder. We're gonna buy that Amazon seeder that's in the pack. And what else is in the pack? Really wish you could search the store by pack. Oh, this thing has got some pretty bad brakes. I was on the brakes pretty early there.
I think there's a blue Lumpkin cultivator or a plow or something in there.
Let's take a look. Yep, you're right. There's a blue Lumpkin cultivator. 0.6 meters. It's definitely a seeder. I'm gonna have to decide that one versus one of these. D830 versus the D9 3000. Those. Cedar. Oh, there's a plow too. How's that differ from... Okay. Probably should, but I'm not gonna play with the little baby bales. Alright, of course. Couldn't make the turn because you only got front wheel steering turned on. We're also going to have to go fairly slow because this guy's only 12 miles an hour. I don't have... Actually, I didn't put the Massey pack in. I was going to play with the other Massey stuff, maybe. Let's see. Oh, good, he got out. Yeah, we got our flashers on. Oh, that telehandler, he's got himself some traffic back there. I'm excited to be able to use this truck. I've had this thing for probably about 6 months. Not had an opportunity to use it. I think this is going to be a perfect series to use it in. Here, people, calm down. Oh, and he's still not here. Oh my gosh. Let's see here. What else I wanted to play with? I don't think I'll have an opportunity to play with it in stream, but I was going to play with these things. Big bags over at FSUK. Although I really don't need to buy seed because I've got the bulk seed buy point. Then we're going to need a truck to haul our grain around. Let's see here. Let's pick a kind of a blah color. It's kind of worn. That looks wonderful. And we got a nice wooden bed in the back. This truck is going to work perfect. What we want to do, Pretend we're actually driving and we're going to put a blinker on. Hey! You saw me coming out. Oh, thanks for the sub, Diddle Vaughn. Yeah, we're not going to transfer it over. We just bought the truck because we're going to use it at some point. So I was thinking of using, like I said, I was going to use MR on here. It's basically a flat map. Be perfectly fine for MR. But there's too much stuff that I want to use that I don't think is MR ready. And I definitely don't have the skills to do anything with respect to making something MR. We're going to need another tractor. And I'm thinking, you know what, we haven't bought this little deal here. Loader, narrow, wide, standard, narrow. Well, hey, let's go with narrow, see how awful it is. Personally, I have problems with narrow tires. These just look atrocious. Oh, they look not overly atrocious, but... Alright, let's buy it. Let's buy that other one. Loader 90T. Right, wheel drive. Narrow tires. Yeah. So that one. Oh, those are awful narrows. Man, those are like toothpick narrows. Alright, so the one I'm in came with the Maxis DLC. I guess it's called Maxis. And then this is the Peter J version. There you go. Take a look inside this one. All right, let's go over here and check out this one. Sounds a little different. Well, On this one I do have, I did put in the add-on script to enable some of the IC stuff. The Peter J mod. Okay. And then that's not available on this one. I see on this one. All right. Both are Highline. All right, but the tractor I wanted is right here. See what this one looks like. Versus this one. Say. All right. So you see I got narrow tires on that one. Yeah. Oh, there. Oh, those look awful. I can't stand those. This, on the other hand, these have righteous narrow tires. They're narrow, but they're not awful narrow. Hey GTX, hey Rob. Hey Mariah, what's up? Alright. We're gonna start this on field 2. No, not to field 2. Field 3 or 4. One of those backfields. So I like these tires better. They just look better. They're more they're more similar to what we see here in the U.S. We don't see the super fat tires in the U.S. much as we see tires that are about this thickness. If you got double tires, then you would see two about this thickness. Oh no, I gotta go up one more. Something else to note, all this grass here along the side of the road, the grass over here in the horse area, all that is non-mowable grass. The mowable grass looks completely different. In fact, let's run over here real fast. This is a big old field we own. This is our biggest field here. This would take like 3 days to plow or cultivate with this little thing. There are 3 areas on the map that have mowable grass. You'll see the mowable grass looks completely different. This is mowable grass. And this is this is indestructible grass. Mowable. Anything that doesn't look like that is not mowable. I like this tractor because it's got the gauge over here on the right, which is both a speedo and a tack. Looks just like the gauges that I remember on the tractors that we had on our farm. Way back 20 plus years ago. Where you had air conditioners in the tractor, but they really didn't work. What they basically did was made the air not as hot. But it was still warm. Interesting. Fine, if you don't want to work, I'll hire somebody else that works. Take a look at this thing. Not a lot going on here. Works. Pretty cool. I'd definitely have something a little bit bigger. At any rate. It's our 69%. Jump back here. What's this little plow take? 120 horsepower. Does that have 145? That's enough. Shop open yet? We're gonna have to change tires out on this thing. Eight o'clock. The shop is open, so we can buy stuff when the shop's closed, but we can't sell stuff or customize. We have to. There we go. Those are normal tires. Basically has a very similar interior to the other tractor. Just Case International versus Case on the other one. So there's a grass field over here. It's kind of a triangle shape to our right. It's also one of the mowable fields. That harvester's taking a while. It's a narrow head, it's fine. We're gonna have fun. Kind of doing some, not old school, but not super modern either. $5 years, and the only suggestion I've seen so far is 12-day seasons. Nobody else has a suggestion? Nobody else cares? Man, think how long it would take to plow that field with this. Oh, that'd be awful. That would be awful. Yeah. Oh, he's way down there. Okay. I like how this field's kind of in, it's got poplar, it's got corn in it, it's got all kinds of old harvest still up in it. Some grass growing in there. This backfield here isn't in much better straits. It's pretty pitiful too. Or 15. John, weren't you the one that suggested 12? Alright. E. Can turn. Cool. Click that again just because we can. Well. Not gonna do a headland. Go up and down. Where are you going? What are you doing? What are you doing, doof? Been schmertz? Stop. All right, Raznik, I'll be there following you shortly. I'm not going to be on here for much longer. There we go. 9 mile an hour, that ain't too bad. Man, look at that little width. Alright. Our harvester needs... Oh, pipe's on the wrong side. Pipe's on the wrong side. There. Pull it out in front of him, that way I can make sure that he doesn't go and pull off while I'm unloading. This thing holds a ton of grain. I would think this thing would have cross members that would actually keep it from bowing out under the sideways pressure of the grain. But the way these sides are, looks like they would just stretch and allow the sides to bow out. If they were flat across, they would help hold the sides in. Just a ton. It's just a ton. Did I say something I don't remember saying? We got a nice cool plow texture here. Broken up ground. Sadly, it's 2D. That's a product of game. Oh, okay. Got withered soybeans. We got withered sunflowers all over the place. All right. Okay. Off those flashers. I like this baler because it's got lots of interesting animations going on. A rotating shaft in there with some knuckle joints. The only issue with, I think this baler is in the in-game mod hub now. I might swap this one out with the one that's in the mod hub. This one I got off the modder site quite a while ago. Chains kind of flash a little bit. So guys, we are approaching our 2-hour limit, and I am about ready to head on into bed. It's almost 11:30 for me. I want to thank you for coming out and watching. And like I said, Emerald Coast is very close to being in its final state before upload to FSUK. So if you're interested in the map, keep an eye out over at FSUK for its release. If all goes well, it should be within a week, I hope. Somewhat contingent upon FSUK testing. But it's also dependent upon real loggers' evaluation of how the mod is working with respect to when you put grass, or not grass, but when you put hay in the grass trough for the sheep, and if you have grass's hay thing enabled, how it's working with the cows. So maybe Real Logger wants to tweak the script some more, or it may be that he's thinking that the way it's behaving is perfectly fine. I don't know. I haven't talked to him. I know he's aware that we're using this and we're streaming it, so see what kind of results we were getting earlier in the stream. If you hadn't seen those, you can go back and kind of watch the replay. Again, thanks for watching, guys, and we'll be back probably very soon. The next stream will probably be over at the Valley of the Old Farm. We've got some work to do over there. I think we're going to have some sunflowers to harvest for Roy. We've also got to fertilize some of our grass fields that have been mowed and are now ready for some more grass, or ready to basically be fertilized because they've been mowed. So until next time, guys, happy farming. I don't know if it'll be tomorrow night or Friday. I'm not really sure. Get out of the way. Yeah, I know I want to be on a schedule, and I've been not really on a schedule as of late, but then again, I don't want to commit something and then just not feel up to it. Alright, so we're seriously ending the stream this time. I'll talk to you later, guys.